join in City of Tampa's request for application public services workshop. Due to COVID, we did not make it required this year. We understood that we had to continue to stay socially distanced, but definitely wanted to give you a brief PowerPoint and the ability to look at what we're looking for and then being able to follow up with any questions directly to me. I will also give you my email address as we go through and just some additional information that might be needed. I am Kayon Henderson, currently the Interim Housing and Community Development Manager. Just going over, we're just going to talk about the application and award process, the funding source that's being used for public service, what we have available, some of the requirements in the submission, what we're looking at right now as priority needs, a little bit of the guideline review that's also on the website, the reviewer's role that we'll have coming up, some of the scoring criteria, and then the citizen participation plan that we're looking at that is also on the website that we would like to get the word out about, and then just a timeline of the RFA process. So the RFA was released. This takes place at the workshop, I should say. We'll have the application review, which is when that role of the reviewer slide will come in handy and just let you know what that reviewer is looking for in the application. We'll then notify different agencies of the award. We have our draft action plan that is going to be to council. We'll have the public comment period and then the action plan adoption that will happen. The action plan adoption is due to HUD on August 15th. Once you have been awarded and the action plan is approved, we also looking to do technical assistance workshop where we're looking to meet with the agencies that have been approved so that we can have them talk about what that agreement could look like, just defining some of the scope of services from the application to the agreement. And then award agreements will start, and those agreements will start October 1st and go all the way through September 30th of next year. So the funding source for public service is Community Development Block Grant. That is an entitlement allocation that the city receives annually. We are looking at approximately $500,000 that is available for public service this year. We have our cap being $100,000 for each application, so we're looking at about 5 applications for public services. So the public service project has to be new service or a quantifiable increase for a renewal application. So if you're currently doing a service with us, it would not be feasible to say that we served 40 people this year, but we're going to serve 43 people next year doing the same exact services. So we're looking for a quantifiable increase, which could possibly mean that you served 40 persons to do this housing counseling, and then next year you're looking to do 40 persons, and your quantifiable increase could be an increase in service. This does require 100% match. So if you are applying for public service, we are looking for 100% match when you submit your billing. Volunteer hours could also be used as match. So if you're using volunteer, we have that volunteer rate listed, $25.43. We've also listed where that rate is. So if at any time that rate updates, we will then update the dollar amount that can be used. However, a maximum of 50% of volunteer hours or in-kind services can be used. So we're not looking for 100% of that to come from volunteer. You can use 50% volunteer hours. Reimbursement is on a per client basis. So you will be required to establish a rate per client based on your funding request when you submit it. And so an example that we have is that you could be providing specific services based on your application. And once you've found what that service is, or you've identified what that service is, it could be $1,000 per client because that's what it takes to fully service that client. So we are looking for that per client amount for this award. Some of the priority needs that we have right now are childcare, healthcare, job training, recreation programs, some mental health, some education programs, senior citizens, service for homeless persons, drug abuse counseling and treatment. These are our priority needs, but this is not by any means that it's the only programs that can be submitted for. We always encourage everyone to go to hudexchange.info to look at all eligible activities under CDBG public services. As we have our request for application, we just want to be clear to point out that the guidelines may differ for each program. The match requirements might also differ for each program, and what is being asked as leverage or match-in funds has to be committed for the requested project and made available during the project period. So if you are planning on using match that expires in September of this year and your contract doesn't start until October, then you would not be able to use that as a source of leverage or matching funds. All responses are due by 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, June 25th, and they have to be submitted in Zoom grants. If you have any questions after watching this, you can submit all the questions in writing by June 18th, 2021 at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time, and that is AM. That's my email address, kayon.henderson@tampagov.net. All the questions have to be submitted in writing. Once you have submitted all those questions to me, I'm going to compile just a list of all the questions and respond by close of business on June 20th, 2021. I have had this question. If you currently have a Zoom Grants login, then you're going to use the same Zoom Grants login that you've had in the past. You're going to enter your credentials, and then when you go in, you will see the Housing and Community Development request for application 2122 application to apply for. You don't have to create a new program. If you're still having issues, let me know and I'm happy to send out the user-friendly link. So we talked a little bit about what that is going to look like for the role of the reviewer when we had that first slide. So we are going to definitely verify some of that support documentation and use recommendations for the reviewers to help make a final decision. The reviewers are coming in as subject matter expertise, and we're asking them to help us make recommendations, but that does not mean that they're the only ones making recommendations. Once we've gotten their recommendations, we do have to submit that memo to the mayor to help us further develop our annual action plan. The reviewers are really asking to evaluate the proposals that are submitted to us and make the recommendation to fund and what dollar figure. They're looking at the application that you have submitted. Please don't take for granted that a reviewer may have worked with you in the past, and so you don't put certain information in your application. We're asking them to review the full packet of application that's in front of them, so it really is imperative that you put as much information that will help support a strong application to help you to be successful. The scoring criteria is also in Zoom Grants. This just kind of shows what it looks like as the reviewers start to look at it, just giving you guys an idea of what it would show. If the reviewer is going in and there's certain parts that they're not going to score, for example, the required minority business forms, those must be completed. Because those forms have to be completed and they're being completed by a different office, we don't have the reviewers put 0 in there because they're not reviewing it. We don't want it to weigh on your actual total score, so that section would be left blank. That way it's not a part of your score. So this just gives a little bit overview of what it looks like. So as the reviewers are going, they have the scale and then they're given their weight for each of the questions and sections that you're being scored on. The funding's resource on our website, you'll see where the request for proposal is. As we have any updated information, we're going to add it to our website when we have the reviewer workshop where the reviewers are able to come back and look at the application. That's going to be a scheduled meeting, and we're going to do a Zoom meeting, and we'll send an invite to everyone who has submitted an application. If you have any questions rather, and you're looking for where that would be posted and you don't see it, please feel free to send an email to me at the email address provided, kayon.henderson@tampagov.net. The citizen participation plan, we do have the survey that's currently up. We really encourage the nonprofits to have the survey completed and sent back to us, whether it's based on what you're looking for the city to provide, as well as if there are any of your clients that would like to complete it, and just let us know. We're looking for services that we can offer for low and moderate income persons, those who are minorities, non-English speaking persons, persons with disability and public housing residents. As we continue to develop program, we certainly want to make sure that we have the citizen in mind so that we can develop really strong programs that are a great resource to our community. That survey is also on the website. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. This just shows what that survey looks like. It's just completing it, has different section, and just asking whether or not you think it's a very low need for our community, whether or not you think it's a moderate need, a high need, very high need, and that helps us to really see what, again, the citizens are looking for within our community. Just a brief calendar, just talking about what it looks like, what our upcoming dates look like. We have released the RFP, the RFA, sorry. We are, again, using this in place of the technical assistance workshop. It will be on our website. Workshop questions due to us June 18th. The RFA submission deadline being June 25th. The current 30-day comment period begins on June 29th based on what we've submitted and we've proposed, we've put out there. We're looking for proposal review and recommendations to be the week of July 7th. So after the 4th of July, just thinking everybody can come back and then we'll have it. The draft action plan and second public hearing will go to council on July 15th and looking for council approval of the plan on July 29th so that we can submit the final plan to HUD on August 15th and start the contracts on October 1st. Please keep in mind that these dates are tentative and could change, and if anything should change, we certainly will update our website also, just so that everybody's aware of that. This is the end of our public service workshop. If you have any questions, we're very open to them. Please feel free to submit them. We're collecting questions. We've started receiving questions, and as we get the questions, we're compiling a Q&A sheet that again will be emailed out to everybody, as well as we'll post a copy of that on our website. Thank you for joining.